Hey everyone, welcome. Good to see you guys. Hope you guys had a great day. It was a slightly bullish day in the market. You can see that we're up 0.6%. And yesterday, when people were asking me, like, hey, would you be more bullish if we, or less bullish if we came down? And I answered no. Like we're in a bullish phase in the market. So this pull back to the EMA 8 was a very positive sign. And I said we're going to look for confirmation today. Today, if we get that green bar and that high is above today's close, then that would be a confirmation. And same thing, it didn't matter if it was pulled down to the EMA 20 or off of the EMA 8. This is confirmation. We closed at 673.11. Is that correct? I thought it was a few pennies lower than that. But in any case, 673.11. And the high over here was 672.99. So that's official confirmation. And that is grounds for being bullish. Hey TP, hey Tim, hi Lise, good to see you. So definitely bullish in the markets. Now, after our discussion yesterday, I made myself a little tool because I love things that make my life a little bit easier. And it's nothing special. It's just an annotation tool. It's not doing any sort of analysis. It's just, hey, Kane, write down your thoughts. Okay. So I'm going to show you this thing that I put. And it's at a 2 bullish. So I manually put in, I am a tool 2 bullish right now. And then I can put in positions that I want to take. So yesterday we took a look at Alcoa, and I said, hey, let's try to, maybe in this portfolio, we could go long Alcoa. And what happened to Alcoa today? It just gapped up and ran. And so that would have been an amazing trade if you actually had the opportunity to get in. Now, of course, with a gap up like that, then the price that I put in as my limit price, it's not going to work out. It's going to be higher at the open already. So that position was not entered. And that's exactly what I was talking about yesterday when I said, hey, we can do this $5,000 paper trade account experiment, but the performance is not going to be the same because there's going to be situations where, because we're looking at this after markets, if I had seen this yesterday before the market closed, I could have gotten in on Alcoa and then we could have taken advantage of this. But because we're doing everything, evaluating everything after markets, then we missed out on this opportunity. Whereas that would have been a win under our belt if this were live instead of a paper simulation after hours. But in any case, we work with the limitations that we have. And so we picked a great trade. It's just that we weren't able to put it as officially as part of our portfolio. But I could, with my new tool over here, I can just mark myself and say, hey, okay, I have a bullish position on in Alcoa, and the reason why I went into it was because of institutional accumulation. Okay, and if I show my notes, then it'll show me that I have one bullish in AA because of institutional accumulation. And just say for whatever, just for illustration purposes, I also have a bearish position on in whatever, some random, I don't know, UPS. And I'm bearish because of whatever, Gamma Pocket. And then it'll show me that I have a bearish position in Gamma Pocket. And then, oh, did I type it in the wrong place? I might have typed it in the wrong place. Yeah. Bearish Gamma Pocket. Okay. So I'm going to start using this to track our paper portfolio and where we are versus where we want to be in terms of that score. So overall in the market, I am going to say we are a 2. We don't have any positions on at the moment. Actually, that's sort of a lie. And I will tell you why. But for now, we'll start at this place, okay? Hey, Peter. Hey, James and TP. You like that? You like this little thing I made? Yeah. So here's what I did. If I want to be too bullish. I don't have any positions yet. Everything's neutral. But what I do want is I want to reserve one allocation to the morning payout program. Because I said, hey, I want some income in my portfolio. And you know what? I actually want to also reserve another position for the weekend trading club. Okay. And both of those are neutral. Weekend trading club, you can argue that might be slightly bearish leaning, but overall it's neutral. So I keep those two as neutral, and then we can fill up the others to a place where we get up to a too bullish. Okay. So I already put in today, because I have no way of simulating this after market hours. So I already put in a SPY morning payout trade, and you can see it's up 2.48%. So when I issued the morning payout plan trade this afternoon, I went ahead and did a paper trade over here as well, allocating roughly, what did we say? We started with a $5,000 account. We have roughly $500 allocations. And so I got as close as I could to 500. It cost $320 to get in. And so I had to decide, do I want to be under allocated at $320 and be $180 under allocated? Or do I want to take a little bit outsized risk or outsized allocation and then invest $640? And I chose to take the outsized allocation on a neutral income position. I'm okay with taking a slightly outsized position. So that's what I did with SPY. So right now we have in our portfolio, I've got the morning payout. I would like to get into a weekend trading club, but I won't be able to do that until Friday. So that's the way it looks right now. And obviously, maybe I'll add a score of the current positions add up to whatever, but we want to be whatever. Maybe I'll add that in too. But in any case, right now it's still 0. So I still need to look for longs. Okay. Hey, Frank. Hey, Maggie. And so that's kind of the idea right now. Today, I want to go through and start building up this portfolio, but I did get some questions, some requests to look at specific stocks. So I'll look at that in the process of saying, hey, would this fit inside my portfolio? So the first one I got was this morning was Reddit that came in during the masterclass for the GEX trading terminal. And I didn't get time to look at it. So over here, it gapped down below the MA50, sideways trading, okay? So let's just take this exercise similar to what we did yesterday on the SPY during COVID. So if I do this and I go right here and say, okay, I'm bullish overall. It did gap up after earnings, and it is this uptrend. It did bounce off of the EMA 20. The only kind of concern I have is that it spends a lot of time around that EMA 20, so it does consolidate for quite some time before it moves. Nothing particularly wrong with that. I just want to be aware that that's happened. It's a huge consolidation period, gap up, big consolidation period, move up, big consolidation period here, move up. Okay, so Reddit seems to have a lot of consolidation periods. So I go and I step forward and okay, cross below the EMA 20. So we have not had a confirmation. Okay, this could look like confirmation of that, but remember, I like to have a green bar. Otherwise, it fulfills the other criteria. So it did close above the previous high, I think. High is 273.6 and 277.1. So yeah, it did close above the previous high, and it just not a green bar. Okay, so that would not have counted as confirmation for me. Over here, we're below the EMA 20, EMA 8. That's kind of okay. It's close to it, so I'm not drawing any conclusions yet. Then we trade sharply down below the EMA 20. I am no longer very bullish on Reddit at this point in time. And I'm actually not even interested in it as a bullish play. Okay, so this is different than my portfolio, right? This is just a position. And remember, what I'm looking for is some sort of edge. I'm looking for a specific pattern. The institutional accumulation pattern that I shared with you guys a couple of weeks ago. We got a great example of it of Alcoa yesterday. And also the other one, the one that I talk about the most and is really the main theme of the post-market live show, is the short-term reverting to long-term. So if I was following Reddit, then this was a good time to enter right there. Okay, as that EMA 8 is reverting back to the same direction as the MA 50. It went on a nice run right here, but now you can see that EMA 8 is now pointing downwards. So I'm not interested in going long Reddit until it moves back upwards. So I'm going to sit this one out until I see that happen. Although overall, Reddit is still bullish play right here. So it goes down a little bit more, gap down again. Okay, we're above that MA 50 still. And then we trade back up. Now the EMA 8 is flat. Okay, then we trade back down. Uh-oh. Okay, so that not looking great. Still bullish, still above the MA 50. Then we gap down above the MA 50. Okay, that is a no-no. Now I'm no longer interested long in Reddit below that MA 50. It has broken this trend line that I just drew right here. It broke that trend line. So it is potentially in a change of trend on the medium term. So now I'm not interested in going long in Reddit anymore until, I think that's the rest, right? Yeah, that's it for today. Now it's just chopping sideways below the MA 50. If it keeps doing this, or if it trades downwards, that MA 50 is eventually going to get dragged downwards. So I'm no longer interested in Reddit as a long at this point in time. Okay, if that makes sense. So bringing in one of our main principles of technical timing, no longer, this is not a bullish pattern and bullish trade for me. Okay. All right, let's see. IK may have to leave and come back. Okay, that's fine. Okay, maybe catch the replay. Then I got some questions from, let's see, they said that I was tracking Target. That's true. I was looking at Target. I did say, I think last week, I don't remember exactly when. Unfortunately, I took the lines off because I was in this trade short. But today, we broke the EMA 20. Okay, so same principles. It was short. We were short. So based on the principles that we were just looking at, this would not necessarily have been the right timing, but it was a gamma pocket, which is why I was interested in looking at it to the short side. So this is right there. That's all we've done so far. So we need to wait for a good short opportunity. In terms of good timing would be for that EMA 8 to curve back down, which it has not yet done. And it's a little bit above the EMA 20, so it's a little like, uh-oh, do we bounce from here now, or does it move deeper? If it moves deeper, we're not interested in it at all. If you're talking about the gamma pocket trade that I was eyeballing earlier, it would have been better if I had also considered this this technical pattern. It hadn't. If I had realized that it hadn't been reverted yet, then that would have been better. Then I would have avoided the trade. But I didn't see that. I missed it when I went into the trade. It was something like this. Something like that. A gamma pocket trade, something similar to that. And then today it would have stopped out. It closed above that stop loss, okay? And it closed above that EMA 20. So today was a stop out on that trade. So target, no longer interested in it, long, short, or otherwise. And then I was also asked about MO, although the person asking me about it seems to have believed that it was a short for some reason. But I took it long. Okay, this is a movement upwards, and when I took it on this day, right here, you can see that the EMA 8 actually was up, and so it did flatten and then go back up, and that's why I was in it. And one of the reasons why I also found this as a gamma pocket, which we're bound by these, and it's still in the trade. There's nothing wrong with it. All it did was it traded strongly upwards and was in profit yesterday. And then today it started out in profit and now pulled back to the MA50. As long as that MA50 holds, or the quarter date VWAP holds, we'll bounce right back up. We'll just be perfectly fine. So there's nothing wrong with this one. And where's the gamma pocket on this? Where the blue lines are, 67.5 and 65. Okay. Target also had news of people change. Oh, okay. Didn't know that. Yeah, thank you. LUV and MS shorts. Okay, so if I'm bullish overall on the market, I'm not spending a lot of time looking for shorts. The only time I look for shorts is if I need to balance out a long position. So if I'm already +2 and I find a really great +3 that I really, really want, then I'll look for a short to balance it out. Okay, so to keep my overall portfolio +2. So the exercise isn't, let's look for something short. LUV, I would not be shorting this right now. It's just chopping sideways. And it is above its MA50 and MA200. Okay, it's just chopping sideways. There's nothing to be super bullish or bearish about this right now. And then MS, same thing. Right, that uptrend, overall uptrend, I've got to use my longer term trend as my guideline as to whether I should be long or short. I should be bullish or bearish, sorry, whether I should be bullish or bearish. If this manages to break up, bounce upwards off of that EMA 20, and that EMA 8 curls back up, I should be long Morgan Stanley. And otherwise, I should just be waiting to see what it does. If it just keeps chopping sideways and eventually break the trend line, or it trades down and breaks the trend line or breaks that MA50, then I should switch bearish to Morgan Stanley according to this medium-term trend. Okay, just by the methodology that I've taught you guys inside in the post-market review. If I chose a different, for example, a MA200, then that wouldn't be the case. So it's all defined by where your trading activity is all defined by your trading parameters. And in this case, the parameters that I've taught you over and over again was MA50, EMA 8. Okay, you could change it, MA50, EMA 20. You could do that. MA 100 or MA 90, MA 50. You could do that. But for swing trades that last anywhere from a week to a month, EMA 20, or sorry, EMA 8 and MA 50. Those are great parameters. Okay, so Morgan Stanley, same thing. Kind of wait and see, kind of neutral state at the moment. I like to let Maverick tell me when to enter, and then targeting a gamma pocket. That's an excellent approach. Actually, that's a very, very smart. How about ALB? ALB is looking great. ALB, I think I gave you guys earlier, but this is the institutional accumulation pattern we talked about yesterday, and for a few months or for a few weeks. A few weeks ago, I shared it with you for the first time. Okay, so here, break above the MA200, pull back to the MA50, retest the same level, pull back to EMA 20/MA200, retest the MA200, right? Retest that level, come back down, retest the MA200 again, go back up, come back to the EMA 20. Final, I guess here I should have said this was a false breakout, right? So can I change this? False breakout. Okay, so broke out, waiting for that retest of the same level, So that false breakout pulled back to the EMA 20 instead. And now finally breakout, potentially a small pullback or a pullback all the way to the same level. And then if it bounces from there, that's that confirmation. So I can trade the pullback or I can trade I could trade the breakout or I could trade the pullback. Just like over here, I could trade the breakout or I could trade the pullback. If I trade the breakout, I would have been wrong and I had to stop myself out. And if I was trading the pullback, I never would have gotten in because it failed that time. So this time we have to decide again. Am I going to trade the breakout, in which case I'm a little bit late, or am I going to trade the pullback and see if it goes back to that same level or the EMA 20 and bounce from there? So you have a little bit of a decision there, but this is great. This is looking awesome. Okay. What time frame are you looking at for entries? When do you zoom in? When I decide it's time to trade. So for example, if I said, I want to trade Albemarle as a breakout, we went over this in the execution last week also, when we talked about execution, the third part of the trade, but it stands to repeat, right? It's worth repeating. So here, just say we like Albemarle so much, we don't care that we're a little bit late to the breakout, and just say, hey, I just want to get in on Albemarle. Well, tomorrow, what I'm going to be doing is say, okay, let's enter Albemarle. Let's enter it tomorrow. Okay, that would be the timing of my trade. Then tomorrow, intraday, I look at Albemarle, and what I'm looking for is probably not in the first 30 minutes. I'm not going to trade, and just pretend this is tomorrow's graph. Right? I have no idea how tomorrow is going to turn out, and so just pretend this is tomorrow's chart. So I wait for probably the first 30 minutes. At least the first 15. I need that volatility to stop. I need the bid-ask spreads to tighten up on everything. And so that's 7 o'clock. And I'm trading off of 5-minute bars, by the way. So I should just do 5-minute bars. Okay. And what I see right at 7 o'clock is we close right on top of the VWAP right here. If it can bounce off of that VWAP, I'm good to go. That's a good entry. If it breaks, I'm going to keep on waiting until it crashes back up and retest that VWAP and successfully breaks out. Okay, so I go forward. There. Okay, at the close of this bar and into this one, okay, sometime during this bar, as long as it looks like it's going to close and hold above that VWAP, I'm in. So we call it I think this is the end of this bar, right? So I'd be in right here, or right at the open of the next bar. Okay, and either one. Okay, so either there or there. Okay, more conservatively, just say that, well, I got the lesser price, the not so favorable price. Okay, that would be my entry. And then whatever it does for the rest of the day, okay? Okay. Is the institutional pattern covered in Anna Colling's volume price analysis book? I don't believe so. Not that I'm aware of. Volume price analysis, she just does kind of this candlestick pattern with volume. From what I remember, it's been a little while since I read her book. So I don't think she covers that accumulation pattern. Every strategy I have an entry at 10 a.m. is almost always better than 9:30. Perfect. Yeah, he's talking Eastern time. That's at 6:30 and 7 o'clock my time. But so basically, every entry after the first half hour, he's saying is better than all the entries where he just jumped in right at the beginning. Yeah, that's and the reason why is because there's a lot of volatility during that first half hour. So you want to avoid that volatility. And if volatility is high, guess what? Your option is more expensive. If you just naturally avoid that time period, then the IV portion of the price of your option is going to be lower. And then if you try to sell, then you either sell during that first hour, half hour, or during the last half hour when IV is high again. Okay, so that's one way of kind of gaming your, and that of course assuming that the direction doesn't come into play. Okay, so we went over MO or Altria, we went over Alcoa, Albemarle, a few others. So now that we've gone over your picks, let's take a look and let's see if we can find a bullish position to be in today. Just like we found Alcoa yesterday, fortunately, gap, move. I mean, not necessarily unfortunately, it was a great pick. It just didn't give us an opportunity to get in on it this morning. So let's take a look at our, well, overall, we should be looking at, I made the assumption because I already know my comfort level with the market, but just assume you don't. So you look at your SPY, you look at your TLT, you look at your VIX, you look at all of this, you get comfortable and say, I should still be long, I should still be a too bullish. So what sector do I want to be in? Well, the sectors yesterday are probably still pretty good, but I can double check metals, blockchain, SMH, Sky. Okay, so now we're going a little bit more risk on today. It was an up day today. Block, XME, URA, SMH, ITA. So far, Block and SMH are looking good, but metals is still there. That's the one that we were after yesterday. Okay, over here, Block, URA, XME, Wood, SMH. Starting to see a pattern here, okay? XME, Block, no SMH. Over here, XME, Block, no SMH. Block, XME, SMH. So, seems like I should pay attention to metals, I should pay attention to cryptos, and I should kind of pay attention to semiconductors. So let's take a look at that. If I look at Block, okay, doing very well, might be a little overextended. So I can go to specifically BTC USD, take a look at that. No, had a pullback and look a bounce, not a confirmation yet, but it's getting there. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. And then we'll look at XME again. XME was still kind of overextended, even more so than yesterday. And then we'll take a look at SMH. SMH pulled back yesterday, return almost exactly the same level, closed at 346.07. This one closed at 337.05. So just a hair under. The high was 346.67, 346. So just a hair below the high right there, almost a complete confirmation bar. So very, very, very close. So I'd be comfortable going into SMH. Blockchain is fine as long as I don't go into something overextended, and same with metals. So I'm going to start with my watch list from yesterday on metals. There we go. We'll start with these. And then we eliminated some that definitely were not ready. AEM, still looking good. Looks just as good as yesterday, except maybe slightly better because it started to bounce. CDE went up without us. CNR, overextended. So I'm going to delete that. CDE, I'm going to delete that. CLF, missed our opportunity. Looking okay, more kind of chopped sideways. Not super excited about that. STLD looking very good, but it kind of moved quite a bit also. HL, missed that. And then these two don't belong here. I should delete those. Okay, so metals, looks like it's just a little too overextended. Not the right timing for it. So then I'll look for blockchain. Blockchain, there's a few ways we could do it. We could look for, I like the Bitcoin and Ethereum mining stocks, but we can actually take a look at what's being held in the block ETF. It might just be a bunch of currencies, which wouldn't help us very much. Hey, Peter. Good to see you. That's not helpful. Okay. I'm not sure what happened. It looks like we're not getting the actual data for some reason. So we'll move on. We'll just go to SMH. Okay, so I will download these and open those up. And I could just go with these. The other way that I could do it, actually, if I wanted a more complete list, is I could go over a stock fetcher. I could use my sector scan, which is where we are right now. And instead of, I don't need any of this criteria. Okay. And so instead of looking at the sectors, though, I look specifically at apply to industry semi. And what we find here is if I do that, then all the industries are semiconductors, except for a couple of them. We get a few that don't really apply, like semi-radio frequency, that semi-general doesn't really, semi-analog and mixed, I think semi-general might actually be part of it. Equipment, so for the most part, these are all semiconductor related. So I could take a look at these as well if I wanted an expanded list of stocks to look at. I might as well do that just because I don't want to go through the exercise of making that into a comma list and all that jazz. So let me rank them in order of the average percent. I'm looking for longs, so I'll sort it highest to lowest. Then I'm going to look for something like a longer term trend that MA50 is. Oh, that's not helpful at all. I can't even tell what color that is. It's so thin. Blue, maybe? I'm not sure. Blue. And then the EMA8 is black, maybe? Anyways, we should be able to tell from the chart. So this blue and that dark line. So obviously this is underneath. So I'm not interested in that. This is looking more interesting, but very volatile, very violent pullback to the EMA8 right there, and then a little bit of a bounce. So if we take a look at LAES, okay, see it was a big open and pull all the way back to the EMA8, and then trying to bounce here. It's going to be, for this to confirm, it is going to be basically impossible because it has to have close all the way up. It's not going to really confirm. And so what will happen is maybe tomorrow we confirm off of this bounce, but then you have resistance overhead over here. So you would want to be aware of that, any pattern that looks like this. Okay. Let's see if we can find a good looking one. Skywater Technology looks okay, but that EMA8 I don't think really changed directions. This would be more like one of Roger Scott's A-line stocks. Let's take a quick look at it. SkyT. I guess actually, yeah. I mean, if this was flat, then yesterday or today, you can consider that a reversion. So SkyT would be okay. See if there's a RFIL. Oh, that's the one that was not. Yeah, this looks great, but it's actually not a semiconductor, right? Semi-radio frequency. Not sure what that is. Yeah, they should do radios and antennas. So, not actually part of the sector we're looking for. LRCX, looking more like a Roger Scott A-line, but for me, that I would need that EMA. I guess technically it did move upwards. It just went sideways for a single day. I really actually want to see that directional change for not just a single day. So I'm not super comfortable with this. I mean, it looks great. I am super comfortable with it. Okay, it looks excellent. It just doesn't fit into my short term reverting to long term. At this particular timing of it doesn't fit, but it looks great. And then same with that SKYT. Okay, it was just that's maybe 2 days where it went sideways and then it moved up. Again, I prefer a slightly longer period, 3, 4 days, 5 days. So that'd be roughly a week. That would be better. So the A lines that Roger Scott looks for, those are good for really quick trades, a single day trade, or, one not a day trade, but a 24-hour trade or 48, anywhere from 1 to 3 or 4 days. Those are generally good for. And the ones that I've been showing you guys, short-term reversion to long-term, like I said, is 1 week to 1 or 2 months. Those trends can last a really long time. So these trends are all pretty strong. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to find a one that I'm really satisfied with. Oh, okay, PI. We're a little too late. A couple days ago. Yeah, right. That's what I'm talking about. So this is that's the long term. And then if we do that EMA 8 right there, but the real day to do it would have been 2 days ago or 2 days ago. Yeah, this day. And then you would have caught this move upwards. Okay. So I'm looking for this except for 2 days ago. Okay. So maybe I will be able to find something. That was a little bit of unexpected. Okay, and if I don't get one of these, then I'll move on to something else, like another system that I like. For example, Maverick. So I'll do that. Looks like I'm not going to get great option, great possibility, great selection, great stock that is doing the short term reverting to long term today. So let's do Maverick. You guys are getting a bit of a free preview here. Okay, I'm going to look for things in my preferred space, so SMH, XME, and blockchain. But if I don't, then I just need to be okay with the sector. That's it. Rockwell Automation. What do these guys do? I lost my chat. Let's see what you guys are saying. No, okay. Rockwell Automation, industrial automation, and information solutions look like maybe robotics, AI, intelligence devices, control and visualization of hardware, information software, network security, infrastructure. Okay, so we're in the sort of like the AI space. Measuring controlling devices, industrials. Interesting. Consider it industrials. Okay, let's look at XLI. XLI, nice uptrend. Up sideways consolidation for a while, but it's starting to break out, which is kind of interesting. And it's starting to break out over here. So I'm actually kind of interested in Rockwell. We're getting a Maverick signal off of it. Let's just see what that looks like. Okay, we've been getting it because it's chopping sideways. It never actually moved. So the question is, do I believe now is the time for it versus all of these times? Instead of getting stuck in sideways chop. You're like, hard to say. That's hard to say. I'd be more comfortable if it was breaking out up here. Okay, so not Rockwell. Where did I do my, there we go. How did the Dow Jones do today? Sideways. We're seeing a lot of action in these sort of more conservative blue chippy stocks. We started to see that yesterday, but you're seeing that continuation today. Looks like we're getting some healthcare going on over here also. Abbott Labs. I might be interested in energy. FANG. McKesson, Medtronic. I've been more interested earlier today near the EMA 8. McKesson's looking pretty good, actually. We have the only thing is that this MA50 hasn't been going up for that long. Okay, so the MA50 started to go up. The EMA 8 went up, went down, baby amount, and then started to go back up again. So MCK is, I would just be a lot more comfortable if it was longer. Like it started further back, but it's okay. So I'll keep that in the back of my mind, MCK. And then where were the other ones that we saw over here? Yeah, I got a lot of these, like Otis, like transportation and public storage. Those are all more like, if we're going to have a pullback in the market, maybe we will. So maybe it's a sign to be slightly cautious. Yeah. Let's take a look at FANG. I'm on the wrong chart. Oh, okay. I was looking at this yesterday. They don't have liquid options. Otherwise, I would have gone in today. Okay, why? Because it's not quite the institution accumulation pattern, but it's very close to it. And it broke above the MA200, pulled back to test it, and it's staying above. So I don't have full confirmation yet, but so this would be an early entry into Diamondback. So I'm kind of interested in that. Let's just go with MCK. I don't want to spend too much more time because we don't have that much more time left. So, of course, if this was a real portfolio, I'd be spending the time. Okay, I wouldn't be like, oh, let's just pick the one. Okay, that'd be the one that I'm super excited about. Yeah, see you, Maggie. Have a good night. So options prices came down nicely. Yeah. So MCK, I like it. I wish the longer term trend was longer, but I do like it. So let's take a look at MCK. And so maybe I go into this second position. Maybe this becomes a Maverick, MCK, Maverick, bull. Okay. Maverick trades are generally anywhere from 1 day to 10 trading days. So a couple of weeks. So I'll give it a couple of weeks, then 1 or 2 weeks on top of that of extra time. So just to be a little conservative, I'll throw it out to November 7th. Not liquid and super expensive. So I will try October 31st. Also not liquid and super expensive. I'll try November 21st. Not the most liquid. And let's try the 17th. If I'm okay with, then I would definitely be doing a debit spread because of this expiration, which means I'm planning on holding it potentially to expiration. And because generally the Mavic trade occurs in roughly 2 weeks, then I want to go slightly in the money. Okay, I could go further in the money. I definitely don't want to straddle this at the money or out of the money. So I want to go at least a little bit in the money because I'm going so close in expiration. And so MCK, if we say, okay, well, what if it just holds that right there, the EMA 8? So that probably takes me to 747.5. Okay, so if I buy this vertical, that's 745, 747.5. Okay, that's super wide. Okay, so that's not really going to work out either. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's continue this tomorrow. I know we have a little bit more time right now, but I'm not feeling that well. I have a little bit of a stomach ache right now. So I am going to end the stream now before I feel really terrible, and we'll look for an opportunity tomorrow. Okay. All right. Thanks, guys. Sorry about that. Sorry for cutting it short. I'm just not feeling that well at the moment. Okay. All right. I will see you tomorrow, and have a great rest of your night. And we'll for sure find a position to enter into our portfolio tomorrow. Okay. Bye, everyone. Have a great rest of your night.